we're looking at an Ayrshire cow here who looks more like a beef animal on stilts, really. Quite short legs, very deep chest, no sign of ribs at all across the back, carrying a huge amount of flesh. We have to assume, I dare say, that these are accurate. That actually was quite an interesting thing when we saw Major Walter's Nessie, which we'd had commissioned, sitting next to it, and my comment to which I enjoyed and got Monty chuckling was that, maybe in 200 years' time they'll be looking back and saying, is that what a Charolais used to look like? So yeah, time moves on. But no, I think it's been great, and I'd like to thank everybody that's picked up on these podcasts, because I think it's been a great vehicle for informing people about what we do and engaging with that community that surrounds us. So yeah, many thanks.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. But I think something useful to point out actually is that podcasts stick around for a very long time. If you know somebody who hasn't listened yet, of course it's not too late. You can start listening to these 14 episodes tomorrow, or you can start listening in 6 months' time. They will be here, and we hope that they provide a bit of an archive for RAS, but also that as I say, people can listen at any point. That's the whole point. It's convenience. So thank you once again to Bill and Alan, and thank you to the Royal Highland Society for working with On Farm over the last 4 months. Before we sign off, we're going to bring Monty in for a final few thoughts. Hi, Monty.
Hi, Anna. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah,
good.
It's quite sad this is the last episode, isn't it?
I know. I feel a bit emotional, actually. It's been amazing, and it's been really inspiring, because everybody we've spoken to, even those people who've faced really tough times, have had a kind of silver lining to their cloud, and they've been amazing at kind of dealing with these circumstances. So I feel quite uplifted by what we've heard.
I tell you what, it's been very, very interesting, hasn't it? Actually taking part, actually speaking to people and hearing them talk about the Highland Society, the Highland Show, what it means to them. It's really fired me up in terms of what it all means to me personally too. Things like, Johnny Watson. Johnny's a well-known business figure. His comments about the show and what it means, very poignant.
It's the greatest agricultural show in the UK by far. And there's a bit of style, there's a lot of fun. And it's always easier doing business with people when they're feeling positive and in a good place, not standing in the steading with the rain driving at you both, desperate to get on with life. It's a special occasion, and I would say it really got a very special spirit.
Speaking with Penny from SAYFC about young farmers' moments.
It is that interaction ongoing, not just that sort of 4 days of the Highland Show.
And it's fun. It's fun as well, isn't it? It's social and
Yes.
It's fun. Personally, remember back to my young farmers' days and the show circuit, and if we didn't have a local show, we'd be looking to another one to go to every weekend of the year if we could.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
Suddenly I realised this affects me just as much as it affects the people I'm speaking with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And what I found particularly interesting is meeting, and I say meeting because we're meeting them across Zoom most of the time, but I've loved meeting new people who I've never met before and hearing their stories. But actually just as moving has been hearing the people who I already know talk. So for example, the farrier who we had in the equestrian episode, he is my farrier, so I've known him for years. Once I started to probe him and get all of the information out about everything that he does, I discovered I didn't know all this information before.
It's also been really amazing to see the Scottish Farriery team develop. The Highland Show offered us the Forge as a sort of permanent home for the Scottish Farriery. So yeah, we have a great depth of horseshoeing skills in Scotland, and like I say, the Highland Show is definitely an integral part of that.
Again, when you actually start to hear in detail about what they do and why they do it and why they're passionate about what they do, it's particularly moving, I think.
Particularly, in my mind, going to speak with the Runciman family at Alan Shaw's was fantastic fun.
The first year I won the the Cheviots at the Highland Show, which was in 2009, there were one of the sheep stewards came up to me and said that the Queen would like to meet you. I honestly thought he was pulling my leg to start with, but lo and behold, he wasn't, which is a big honour to shake hands and meet her like. And she was very nice to speak to and very easy to speak to, and she knew her stuff.
And was she as honoured to meet you?
Yes.
These are people who, you've known a long time, but it's lovely to have the sort of chat that we did with them. It'd almost be quite funny to make an episode, almost a behind the scenes type thing of us actually what we've had to jump through in terms of Zoom and how we've recorded these remotely. And for example, the episode we did about awards, wasn't it? Producer Dave wanted sheep sound effects in the background, and obviously we were talking about clipping, and actually I was recording while we were in the sheep shed, the clipping shed. My wife Moira was helping. She had the mic and she was trying to catch all the sound effects. All that had to be recorded while we were silent. Now that's quite hard when you're dealing with 300 sheep coming up a ramp, let me tell you.
One I remember is when one of our participants or interviewees, who I won't name, messaged me just about 5 minutes beforehand saying, I'm just perfecting my makeup for your podcast. And I had to say to her, you do realise that it's just audio. We just want to hear your voice. You're not going to be videoed. And she said, I have no idea. I thought it was all going to be videoed. So I think she was relieved when she discovered the truth. But we've had a fair few funny moments. Ever since I started my career in the agricultural industry, I've always thought that Scotland's stories need to be told. And then I became aware of podcasting and became a bit of a fan and listened to many. And I just had this thought that actually this is exactly what Scotland needs. Scotland needs its rural stories to be told in a new way, to reach new people, but also to allow people to have options in terms of how they listen and learn more about what goes on in the countryside. So that's kind of where the idea for On Farm came from. And we've realised our ambitions, and we've been going since January. It's been amazing fun. We've told umpteen rural stories. We're all about positivity but realism at the same time. And I want us to still be here in 10, 15, 20 years' time when podcasting is totally mainstream. What will happen is that more and more people will join the podcasting movement. And I can't wait, because I think it's a fabulous way to get these amazing stories out there for people to listen to.
I would just add to that what we've set out to do, and I hope what listeners think we've achieved, is be really, really professional in this. We have got a super chap guiding us in all of this, and Dave, our producer behind the scenes, does an excellent job in putting this together. And turns out what I believe is a really professional 35 to 45 minute podcast. And I hope the listeners agree that there's not a lot to rival that, certainly in terms of rural podcasting and rural Scotland.
Yes, I agree. Dave has many, many years of experience at the BBC. I know he's going to cut this bit out. Nobody ever hears Dave's voice on this podcast, but it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Dave. He is our true expert here, and he is the reason that these podcasts sound so good. We chose to go down the professional route because I think people deserve to have that when they're listening to these amazing stories, and I think it's paid off. And thanks to the way it's been done, and thanks to the contributions from the Royal Highland Society and everybody else who's taken part in our podcasts, up to now, they have enabled us to gain what's actually quite a powerful position, because we're in the weekly routine for hundreds of farmers. They listen to our podcast. They've got it on auto download, and it's there every Monday morning for them to listen to. We've got a direct line straight to these people. So I guess anybody who's listening who has a business or a brand that they think would benefit from sponsoring On Farm or working in association with us like RAS have done, please get in touch. We've got the ability now to share your messages, and effectively we're a direct line straight to the hundreds of farmers and other rural people who've been listening to On Farm since January when we started.
Yeah, there's an opportunity here for anyone who would like to work with us to make a podcast and tell their story.
A podcast gives you 35 minutes of depth of content, and I think that's so valuable. So if there's a project story that needs to be told, or a family story that needs to be told, or a product that needs to be described, podcasting can do that in a way that other mediums just simply can't. So I think that's what it's about. It's about telling proper stories in an easily digestible way that everybody can understand and enjoy. So if we can carry on doing that, and as Monty said, we will need partnerships, to enable us to do that. But if we can carry on doing that, I'll certainly be happy.
We can reach the audiences. You would benefit from having your brand associated with On Farm. If you are an organisation who wants to reach a rural audience, if you're an organisation or a company or someone with a story to tell, if you want to get in touch about how you might be involved, please do.
Monty, you missed out on meeting Jim Smith. He is absolutely hilarious and a fantastic ambassador for Scottish farming. So we've decided, haven't we, to play the Jim Smith episodes over again. Because we're taking a break, we're not going to leave the airwaves quiet. So we've got the next 2 weeks, we'll be reissuing the episodes with Jim Smith.
Just want to say thanks for tuning in and taking a minute of your day and listening to the podcast about farming and telling jokes like you can. It's been brought here on up in the farm like you can. Brings a bit of glamour to the lambing field like you can. Floss! Floss! That dumb dog.
Spot on. After Jim Smith, we're returning to the Batch Lady, who is internationally famous nowadays. She's got a book out, but she hails from the Borders. Lovely, lovely, down-to-earth lady who we met just before lockdown.
Everybody always comments that I always wear a white shirt when I cook.
Yes, that's quite brave.
Yeah, it's because I have a white shirt thing going on. Do you know, it's blue jeans and a white shirt means I'm the Batch Lady. If I wear anything else, I feel like myself and I lose my confidence.
Thank you, everybody, for listening over the last 14 weeks. As I say, we'll be back properly in about a month's time. But meantime, enjoy the reissue of the episodes. And Monty, if you've got any final farewells to say?
No, I mean, that's it from me, really. That's it from me, and bye for now.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you very much.